Hello, welcome to another edition of Crow TV. This is the pandemic edition, coming to you live from my kitchen where I'm self-isolating, keeping home away from everyone, as everyone should be during this time of crisis. Joined once again by my very good friend Luke via satellite. He called in to the studio, so he's coming live from his room.
It's nice to see you. This is pretty YTV.
Yeah, this is old school. This is it's like watching the news and you're going live to someone in the field. So, yeah. We're keeping in touch. We're just doing it via the internet, and we figured we would do another video, kind of similar to our list videos we've done before, but in this format.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Hope you're staying safe and healthy. All that fun stuff. Keeping out of the public. Everyone being
We're
sick.
locked down.
Yeah.
Nerding out.
Yeah. So, if you want something fun to watch while you're cooped up at home, I'm sure you're doing lots of YouTubing. This is a Beatles one. Surprise, surprise, we like the Beatles. Probably one of our favorite bands between the two of us. Goes without saying. One of the most incredible bands, blah, blah, blah. Old news that the Beatles are good. But this is a bit of a different list. We're not just going to do top 10 Beatles records. We're going to do top 10 Beatles and Solo-Beatles records. So all four of the members of the Beatles, all of their solo albums, and the Beatles are going to be lumped into this one list. So it's going to be very interesting.
That'll make it slightly more interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
Yeah. It's hard because there's a lot you can put in this list. There's a lot of solo albums, a lot of good, a lot of garbage, but a lot of stinkers. But
yeah, and this is the Beatles, and this is not this is not singles, not comps, and not live stuff. So This is complete albums.
You're right. Yeah, studio albums only. Yeah. So. We're going to get right to it. We're going to do an exact format that we did before. I'll do 10, Luke will do 10, 9, and 9, whatever. Then we're going to do an honorable mentions at the very end, list or albums that didn't make the cut. Anything you want to say before we get underway?
No, but that this is all just extremely our opinions, and obviously these bands have been talked about to death, so.
Right. We're kind of going. We started out with Neil Young, then we went to Bob Dylan. Now we're doing the Beatles. We're kind of running the gamut of widely beloved all-time bands.
These are just the ones that I personally listen to and feel the best about.
Right.
It's a complete album.
Yep. Before we start, I just want to say, hope everyone's doing good out there. Cheers, Luke.
Cheers, Crow.
Cheers. Hope everyone's safe. Hopefully this is a fun video. All right, well, here we go. I'm going to start with number 10. The number 10 record for me, I don't have it physically here. I actually almost bought it many times, but it's going to be the Beatles, the White Album, at number 10 for me. I almost didn't put this one on the list, and then when I decided to put it on the list, I wanted to put it even higher than number 10 because that was the first Beatles record that I really was like, this is, I've never heard songs like this before. That was the first one that made me go, okay, this band was actually a lot more crazy than just some 60s pop band that was writing Paperback Writer and Hello
So you thought, let's put it at 10.
Well, it's just the reason I put it at 10 is because it's a long album. It's a double album. There's a lot of just random stuff on there, but there's just so much good stuff that I didn't want to not include it, and I included it for just hearing it for the first time. I remember being super stoned in my friend's car and listening to Revolution 9 and being like, what am I listening to? It was blowing my mind. It was just so bizarre. But you got Helter Skelter, you got... that's one of my favorite songs I think ever. And there's just so many good gems mixed on there. It's not the perfect album, but I wanted to put it on the list because it's an insane album. It's weird, it's bizarre, it's unlike anything else they have. So that's the White Album, or the Beatles. Making its way at number 10 for me. It probably could be higher on some days, but right now it's going to number 10.
Dude, that's awesome. That's a cool pick because that mixes things up a bit, right?
Yeah.
So for mine, I'm gonna go with George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. Again, very hard to narrow down any of this, but these are the classics of the classic, and these are what hold up with me now, still in my young age of early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Still in my young age of late 20s.
Mm. I don't think that's correct, but
yeah, like I said, it's impossible to choose. This top 10 is going to be completely day to day. But I was thinking, my absolute top 10, what I would grab to put on and listen to all the way through. It's not just for single songs. This one's coming in at 10. It's great.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's so high on your list, or sorry, so low on your list, I should say.
Really, yeah. 3 LP. Comes with an awesome poster, which mine has.
Yeah.
But we're talking 2 LPs, really. So it's good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Sweet.
For it to be in the top 10 of Beatles solo thing has to be pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, I can't disagree with you on that record for sure.
And it's hard to argue any of this stuff and take it seriously because it's so silly, but hey, this is what we're doing. We're trying to lighten the mood this time.
Awesome. So that's number 10?
Yep.
All right. Cool. So my number 9 is going to be a solo record. So this is John Lennon in the Plastic Ono Band. This LP coming in at number 9 for me. John Lennon's solo career is very expansive. There's a lot going on in it. This record was one of his first. I mean, I guess there's what are they called? Wedding songs. I guess that. I mean, I don't really know that one that well, but this is kind of his first one that was very commercially. What's that?
2 Virgins.
2 Virgins, yeah. And then I think Marriage Songs or Wedding Songs, I think, was after that. Anyways, Plastic Ono Band, there's some insane songs on this song. Mother, the first song. Isolation is a great song. Thinking about that one a lot during these isolated times. I Found Out, Well is a crazy song. He's screaming his head off in that song. That one kind of blows me away, like just the style of vocals. It's like you never hear a scream like that, and he's just screaming. So it sounds awesome. The production's great. So that's Plastic Ono Band. Yeah. So that's number 9 for me.
Cool. That's a great one. I absolutely love that one. So coming in at number 9 for me, Paul McCartney and Wings, Band on the Run.
Nice.
Number 9. Kind of not the greatest album artwork, but the content of the album is so good, and maybe more so nowadays. I like A-side to B-side, very enjoyable, and that's why it's in this list. These are records that don't have large gaps in songs that I can't stand, or we're really splitting hairs here. I want to emphasize that as much as I can.
Yeah.
And for this, Band on the Run, great all the way through, enjoyable. It's not downer music, which is what I listen to all the time, pretty much. Yeah,
that was a very enjoyable album to put on, and I don't disagree with you. Start to finish, it's great all the way through.
Yep.
Sweet.
That would be my number 9.
Sweet.
Paul McCartney and Wings, Band on the Run.
Nice. Okay, number 8 for me. I'm actually just going to stick with Mr. Lennon, and number 8 for me is Imagine. I don't have a copy of it here. The title track on the song, a little disliked nowadays with that whole viral video of all the celebrities singing it. I don't know if you saw that or not.
That is one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. I think. I mean, cringy.
It's
cringy.
Cringy. It's cringy with a capital C. I mean, that song's been played to death a billion trillion times. It's still a very nice song, but I feel like
it was embarrassing, even considering it because of that moment. But John Lennon in general, we should acknowledge, is controversial.
Of course, yeah. I mean, without a doubt, the most controversial member of the Beatles, one of the most controversial artists, really, of all time. But what can I say? I love his music. I just can't not listen to it. It's good. He's a great songwriter. Anyways, that record, that was the first one I think I really dived into by him. And I loved it. Some beautiful songs on it. I think almost every song except maybe one is very, very enjoyable on it, or very, very loved by me. Mm-hmm. So that's Imagine. That's number 8.
I'm going to stick with the Paul McCartney theme, and we're going to go with Ram as my number 8. Sweet. A lot of these are interchangeable, as we've said many times over. Yeah, this one's another one, front to back, is enjoyable all the way through.
Yeah.
Silly, but never quite so annoying that you don't like it.
Yeah.
Working on it, anyways.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my number 8. Paul McCartney, Ram. Paul and Linda McCartney.
Yeah, it's credited to them both. Yeah.
I apologize.
She sings some great songs on that one.
Yes, it's really good.
Yeah. So that's your number 8?
That is my number 8. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, my number 7 is Ram. Great album. I love it very much. This was the one that made me. I almost kind of would laugh at some of Paul's solo stuff. I knew Maybe I'm Amazed, and I knew the odd hit that he had on the radio. But then I listen to this, and I was like, oh, this guy was making some real records. Oh, some of the playing on this record is amazing. The first song, Too Many People, is one of my favorite songs, I think. I love that song to death.
Too many people going underground.
Yeah. Eat at Home, Long-Haired Lady, Ram, the song Ram On, awesome album. It's endlessly listenable. I put it on, I remember going on a road trip one time, driving to Montreal, and I just put that record on and put that MP3 on my car stereo, and it's awesome. And then, had a great time.
And then 20 minutes later, you stared at the back of the seat for 5 hours. Yeah, good time.
No, I was driving while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, singing along,
Because that's one of the great things about it is it's not a long album.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah. It's just it has a good energy. The whole album has a nice energy, kind of from song to song. So yeah, that's.
It sounds like it was recorded at home.
Yeah, exactly. So that's number 7. I like this picture on the back. The two Beatles having intercourse.
Oh yeah.
Famous dig, I think, right there. Dig at the band. And some nice artwork on the inside. Really cool collage. Yeah. That's Ram. Ram-a-lim a ding dong.
So we always go for jokes here on the Crow TV reviews, and I guess it's not surprising, but it is funny that I have Imagine in my 7 slot, because these are all interchangeable, like I've said 15 times already,
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time.
It's like having a deck of cards and just shuffling them and throwing them all out in order,
But it'll be curious to see, these little differences, and Imagine is great. Another one all the way through is enjoyable pretty well.
Yeah.
Darker, which is why I like it. I think you could argue maybe John Lennon's solo career was better, but I don't know. I don't like either one of them better. So
I will agree with you. I think Paul had the more perfect album with Ram at least, but John's career as a whole was more. I think he just had.
And it was cut short.
Yeah, of course, totally.
And Paul McCartney hasn't had probably a great album in since the 70s, and John had Double Fantasy, right?
Yeah. John lived long enough to make a Christmas song, but not long enough to make Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time.
I think, yeah.
I don't even hate that song, to be honest. A lot of people hate on that song. I don't hate it. I think it's kind of nice.
That Paul McCartney one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to admit this on video, but Yeah, I've always been a fan of that song.
It's kind of like gives me a warm fuzzy feeling. I
didn't know it was like 10 years ago.
I only want to hear it at Christmas time. If I hear it any other time, it's like, get this shit away from me. But, you know, it's got to be like Christmas Eve when I hear it. If I hear it at the start of December, I'm like, oh, fuck. But, you know, closer to Christmas.
It's one of the few modern Christmas, new Christmas songs that will always be played forever.
Yeah. So you had Imagine at number 7, right?
Yeah, because it's just great.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, on to number 6. Number 6 for me is a Beatles record. I don't have a copy of it as well, but it's a Magical Mystery Tour. Technically an LP. It's the film soundtrack. Side A and then side B is the 1967 singles. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to include it because it's basically good all the way through. The first half of the LP has Blue Jay Way and Flying, Fool on the Hill, just great songs that are strange, but I just, you know, they give me that feeling, that little magical feeling in me. And then the second half has those really nice pop singles, you know, a lot of great singles on the second half, all-time hits from the Beatles. I mean, All You Need Is Love is far from one of my favorite songs, but...
yeah, I don't like that one very much.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've always loved Hello Goodbye, Penny Lane. They just have those kind of happy feelings, you know, those happy sounds to them, you know? Yeah, so that's number 6 for me. I really enjoy that LP. I listened the shit out of it. And that's number 6, Magical Mystery Tour.
Well, that's great, Justin. Actually, I don't even know my number 6. So my number 6 is going to be Sgt. Pepper, which I shamefully must have sold at some point. Probably the reason it came in number 6 on my list. But it still had to be on it. You can't not put it on here. So this would be my first Beatle entry on this list. And I was going to rank it lower, then I looked at the track list. And it's pretty good. I mean, there's couple I don't like really that much.
Yeah, there's a couple on there I'm not a big fan of.
So that's gonna come number 6.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Cool. Sgt. Pepper. Yeah. Monumental album. Changed the face of music. In case you didn't know, little known album, Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah, and it's coming in at the number 6 on the.
Sweet. All right. Cracking into the top 5 here, and no more fucking around. This is my number 5, and it's a little album called Let It Be. This is a great rock album. This is like the Beatles rock and roll to a T. You know, their last released album, obviously not their actual last album. It just has a raw sound to it. You know, Let It Be Naked obviously is probably the most perfected mix of the album. It doesn't have a whole lot of extra crap on there. Some of the vocals, Dig a Pony sounds really great on Let It Be Naked. Yeah, I just really like this song. There's a couple little ditties in the middle that I'm not crazy about, but this one just has great songs on it, and I've always held it in high regard. I've gotten few debates with some people that don't really find that one as good. They think it kind of is one of the weaker albums, but I disagree. Cool. So that's number 5 for me. Let It Be.
Cool. Interesting. Yeah, Let It Be. So my number 5 is going to be Magical Mystery Tour. So Justin already did his rap on Magical Mystery Tour. So there's not a whole lot to say here. I feel the same way. If we were only counting this as the original EP, which doesn't have like Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, Hello Goodbye, and all those good things on it, maybe it wouldn't be in the top 10 even. But
yeah,
once you throw Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane on an album, then that's a very strong advantage.
I listened to Strawberry Fields I don't know how many times as a teen. I had it on a couple Beatles mix CDs. And then, almost 10 years later, I was sitting one time by myself and I listened to that song, and it's like I had never heard it like that before. It just kind of blew me away in this different way I'd never I don't know, just free.
I would shelter somehow in the fact that I didn't hear it till I was like 20, and it was high.
Yeah.
So it was perfect.
It tripped you right out. Yeah.
It was amazing, and I think I have it at the highest regard of any music ever.
Yeah.
And the video that's the high quality video that's on their YouTube channel is like, I watch it and it blows me away every single time.
Yeah, it's insane video. So you're saying you don't like the first half of the album as much?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
But like compared to put it in the ranks of other Beatle albums.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Needed that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. It's number 5 for you, Magical Mystery Tour. All right.
The only song I truly object with being "All You Need Is Love."
Right. I'll agree with that. It's a good thing it's the last song. You know.
Yes.
You just kind of quit after "Baby You're a Rich Man." You can just kind of.
Yeah.
All right. So number 4 for me. I really didn't know where to put this one, but it's Rubber Soul for number 4. This one and Revolver are very hard for me to put on the list. I don't know where I'm going to put them, but yeah, this is a killer album. One of the true turning points for the band. You listen to, Help and Beatles for Sale, and then you listen to this, and they're getting a lot more confident and raw and trying new shit. Norwegian Wood, second track on the album.
This is when the real good shit starts.
Yeah. A controversial song on the record, the final song, Run For Your Life, probably not the most playable song in 2020.
I hate it, and that's why I don't really throw it on that much.
Yeah.
When going over the tracks, I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes you question everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. But, anyways, sketchy, but a lot of other very good songs on this album. You Won't See Me is a beautiful song. I'm Looking Through You. Awesome, yeah. So this Rubber Soul, and I just really like the picture on the front. One of my favorite album covers, I think, of the whole band.
Totally.
Yeah. So Rubber Soul, number 4 for me.
Okay. Interesting choice. My number 4, Rubber Soul.
Oh.
Mine's totally different than yours, though. It's kind of, yeah. Everything Justin said. It's got to be. I just want to state though, it's got to be the UK version because that was what originally came out.
Mm-hmm.
The US version took some of the, since they already had the singles. I don't know the exact deal, but it doesn't have "Drive My Car."
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. The first
Same
song.
with Revolver.
Yeah.
The US versions are no good at all, really.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have the US version, but.
And as do most, and as do I.
Yeah.
But if you ever don't have it, then you'll be happy, right?
Yeah, you got a hit on your hands.
Yeah.
So, Rubber Soul, number 4 for us both.
Yeah.
Maybe possibly the only time on the list that this is going to happen. We got 3 more yet to find out. But,
We've been kind of similar, actually.
Yeah, but not on the exact spot, though. I feel like that's only happened, I think, maybe once the other time with our other lists, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 3 is going to be one that Luke listed much lower on his list. And it's actually a solo record. It's All Things Must Pass is my number 3. Yeah, I just couldn't put that. I couldn't put it any higher or any lower. I've listened to that album I don't know how many times, and it just floors me every time. It just has this such crazy production, the songwriting, the playing on it. Some of the best songs ever, and some of my favorite songs ever on that record. Yeah, it sounds like it's from another like dimension or something sometimes. Like it just sounds like otherworldly. It's not a very good person, but Phil Spector, he did a hell of a job on that LP. It sounds incredible.
I would kill to hear that LP without Phil Spector involved.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if there's a version with all that stuff stripped back.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has Very good. Probably my favorite version of the Bob Dylan song, "If Not for You" on it. I love Dylan's version, but the version on that record of George Harrison's version is beautiful. You know, one of the all time great love songs, I think. So, "What Is Life" is probably one of my favorite songs. It's got to be in my all time favorite songs. Love that one. So that's number 3 for me. All Things Must Pass.
Number 3. We're going with number 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cracking the top 3.
What was your number 10? Okay.
The White Album, the Beatles.
Oh, interesting. Just making connections here. White Album's my number 3.
Nice.
The fact that you put that as number 10, I mean,
that's
why this was a great suggestion.
And you know what? I questioned it as soon as I did it. I'm like, why? As soon as I'm saying it, I'm like, why is it at number 10? It should be higher. But
because when that I think it was 2018, that remaster came out a couple years ago, that was like the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
And that restored all my... You would ask me before, the White Album might have actually been lower, but oh man, that's such a good one. Every song on it's pretty well good.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, the remastered, I remember we were hanging out and we were listening to it, and on all the demos, all the different takes that they released of it, the studio takes.
It's awesome, and it's so rare for that to happen, and then I won't see it again because Let It Be is the only one left to be the 50th anniversary of.
Yeah.
And that album's kind of, flim-flammy in a way. But they have lots of outtakes from that one, too, for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember listening to, with headphones on, I remember listening to Birthday, the first song on the second LP of the White Album. Far from my favorite song, but when I listened to the remaster, I couldn't believe how, like, I was all of a sudden be like, the song kicks ass, and all of a sudden, like, the bass and the drums were just remastered to this awesome,
and there's like that
level, like...
There's that one disc of them demoing all the songs together,
and
there's just so much commotion going on in the background. They do every song pretty well.
Yeah. You hear them laughing. You hear them laughing and joking around in the back, and they're just kind of like making shit up on the spot and everything. Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, I should have put it higher on my list, I gotta say. And like the fact that it was the first record that I really heard by them, that I was like, holy crap, like.
Man, I changed shit up last minute on this list. Like,
well,
I just changed something up while we were doing this, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Magical Mystery Tour and Rubber Soul I swapped.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I had to.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It actually it worked out to be funny because you ended up using Rubber Soul as the same.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that was number 3 for you. Okay, so number 2. Okay, here we go. This is almost the top spot. This is the real deep down and dirty here. Number 2 for me, I mentioned it when I was talking about Rubber Soul, but number 2 was Revolver for me. Like I said, I kind of associate Rubber Soul and Revolver almost together, and just kind of sounds and styles, they kind of mesh together. You can almost cut some songs out of Rubber Soul and some songs out of Revolver and make this ultimate record between the two. But Revolver ultimately has the more killer tracks. Some of my favorite Beatles songs ever are on that album. It has Yellow Submarine, which is not my favorite Beatles song, but I remember watching that in like grade 4 in music class. I remember watching the movie and being like,
I didn't hear that one. Well, I don't remember watching it, but I remember the song.
Yeah, I remember watching the movie and being like, this is so stupid. Why are we watching this? I hate this. And as time went on, I grew to obviously respect it and stuff, but it's just... I never listened to that song when I listened to Revolver, let's put it that way, but so many good songs on that record. Anya Birkin Sing is one of my favorites. She Said is one of my favorites. For No One, beautiful song. I love that one to death. So that's Revolver is my number 2, and that one kind of grew on me over years. I remember listening to it much earlier and didn't think it did much for me, but times changed and I grew to love it.
Yeah, I just want to say for the top 2, I mean, these are so interchangeable that it's not even funny. I mean, the one I'm going to name as my number 2 was my top 1 for like 10 years, so.
Yeah.
my second choice in the top 10 is Revolver. UK version, obviously. I'm actually gonna go the opposite of what Justin said. I don't. Yeah, it's next to Rubber Soul, but I consider it in a different world and so superior to Rubber Soul.
Yeah.
And in fact, Rubber Soul should have been lower on my list, but it wasn't just because I love the album. You know, it's such a good package.
Yeah.
But Revolver, great. My favorite Beatles song of all time is on this. Here, There, and Everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Gorgeous song. I mean, it's almost the intro to the psychedelic of the Beatles, basically, in some songs.
And it took it as far as psychedelic as I would want it to take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Torn Never Knows.
I don't need too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a perfect combination of early and their what was to come.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Can't disagree with you there as it being number 2. I wonder if we have the same number 1.
I'm thinking we do.
Do you want to do it at the same time?
You want to do a countdown? 3, 2, 1, and then show it at the
same time? Let's do it.
All right.
All right. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. There we go. Look at that.
Unplanned, but somehow seemingly obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting for it to pop up on your list at some point, but anyways, yeah. What else can you say about old Abbey Road?
I would say that I enjoy it more than I used to. Those recent remasters did nothing but good things for it, and I would say that I appreciate the second side of it so much more now than I ever did.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The last suite of songs is, I mean, I love it so much. She came in through the bathroom window. I remember listening to that remaster with headphones on. The bass sounds unreal. The drums.
It's such a cool song too.
Yeah.
I never realized it. You know,
there's
I was a latecomer to all this.
Yeah, too. There's all these great harmonies coming out that you didn't hear before.
Mm-hmm.
I Want You, She's So Heavy is one of the most badass songs of all time. Yeah. Totally.
That's why that's why it's so great. The only bummer, shitty song. There's a couple bad songs, right?
Yeah.
One bad song, 2 songs you might skip.
I have a picture. I was at Abbey Road a few years ago. I went to London and I walked across the crosswalk. I had to do it, you know. I was there.
Yeah,
I wanted to see the studios, so I went and I saw the actual Abbey Road. Like, I was there at the studio. I saw the sign, and there was a bunch of people at the crosswalk. But I saw a moment and I went for it and I got a picture. It's not the perfect angle, but anyways, maybe I'll put it up here just for a second.
Yeah, flash it up on the screen.
Yeah. Anyways, Abbey Road, what an album.
That's so look cool. At that. It's funny that the way you were going, I didn't think you'd have that as your number 1. It's funny that we synced up like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because Revolver is typically my number 1.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, I knew Revolver was going in the top 3 somewhere, I just didn't know where. Okay, well, that's the list. I'm going to throw out some honorable mentions. I don't know if you want to do the same or not. I have a couple I just wanted to mention. Yeah. Albums that certainly weren't going to go in the top 10, but I wanted to mention because I absolutely love them. Double Fantasy. I don't know if you have this one on yours or not.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite as well.
Yeah, some of John's best songs are on this album, but I just didn't want to I just couldn't put it on the top 10. I just couldn't bring myself to do it because it's not a perfect album. Beautiful Boy, Watching the Wheels. Watching the Wheels, that song's incredible.
Agreed.
Makes me sad every time I listen to it. Not because he's dead, but I guess because it's just kind of a sad song. I don't know.
Hey, it shows life, you know.
Yeah. I mean, not saying that I'm not sad that he died. I truly think he could have done some great stuff after he died.
I just think about Julian and be like, "Where's my song?"
Yeah.
Or whatever. That's wrong. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree. I agree. This song was all about Sean. A lot of the record was about Sean. Anyways, so that's Double Fantasy. Band on the Run, actually, as well. I was going to put this on my top 10. I actually did have this as my number 10 at one point, just because it's, as you mentioned, as we talked about earlier, song for song. It's great.
Oh yeah, that's why I included it. I felt forced to almost.
Yeah. Let Me Roll It is one of my favorite songs by Paul McCartney. Let Me Roll It, I've listened to that one so many times. What else do I got? Sometime in New York is another great album by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Really good songs on that one. The first McCartney album, just McCartney. A bunch of like home recordings, but it has some incredible songs on it. That was actually the first Paul album that I really got into, other than Ram, but that one. Mind Games by John Lennon is one of my favorite albums by him too, just because there's so many good songs on it. And I gotta give Beatles for Sale and Help some honorable mentions, especially Beatles for Sale. I really love Help. The first couple songs on Beatles for Sale and the first couple songs on Help are incredible songs. And I don't know if you noticed, it wasn't on my top 10, but Sgt. Pepper's. I gotta give that an honorable mention too.
Oh.
Yeah. I like that album, but it's far from one of my favorites. I gotta say, I don't know. There's some great songs on it, but I don't know.
It's not one of my favorites either.
I never go back to it. I don't know.
I looked at the track list.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I love, the song, Sgt. Pepper, love.
Yeah.
Love Help from My Friends, love, listen to all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamond, don't love. You know, Getting Better, listen to all
Getting
the time.
Better is one of my... If Getting Better was on another album, then I probably wouldn't even bother with Sgt. Pepper's most of the time. I gotta say.
Day in the Life.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's
Let
one
It Be
of those-
would be that for me, I guess, but...
Day in the Life is one of those songs that blew me away when I first heard it, and now I couldn't care if I ever heard it again. It's just, I've heard it too many times, you know.
Oh, well, you should be penalized for that.
You turn on your average rock and roll classic rock station and it's playing.
Is it?
I hear it on our local rock station most of the time.
People would crash their cars everywhere.
Yeah, he blew his mind out in a car.
But, well, I wasn't even referencing that. Just like you'd be so distracted by the music, you'd crash your car.
Yeah.
Was that all your honorable mentions?
That was all my honorable mentions. Yeah. Oh, actually, sorry. This isn't even technically an LP. I just wanted to throw this one out. Hey Jude. There's just some good songs on this that aren't on any Beatles LPs. Ballad of John and Yoko, and Rain is a great song. I love Rain. Old Brown Shoe. And I love this picture of them on the front. So I just want to throw that one out there. Not even an LP, but just a nice record that they put out. It's a compilation, basically.
Yeah, I agree. That is good. So for my honorable mentions, Let It Be Naked.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that came out in 2003. I really like that one. So much more than the one that came out.
Yeah.
Phil Spector.
Yep.
All the singles, the past masters as they were called in the 2009 remasters, those were all great.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the solo careers go, Ringo, Don't Come Easy needs to be mentioned, as that is a great single.
Yeah.
John Lennon and his various singles.
The Ringo LP kind of...
Yeah, it's got a couple good tunes.
It's okay,
The single I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'd like to shout out George Harrison. Throughout his life, though he didn't make as many albums as Paul, he had a very solid, I like the 33rd and the third album a lot, and Cloud 9, and even his last album, Brainwashed, and the song Any Road, which was on his last television performance, which is on YouTube from 1997.
Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, I had to shout that out because I love it so much. And George Harrison and John Lennon had solid solo careers, although Traveling Wilburys would be included for George Harrison. And Paul is not so much. His albums aren't so great, although he always has a song once in a while that I like.
Paul's was the 70s is when he was in his prime, you know.
Yeah. But his song with Kanye.
McCartney too has some good stuff.
Sure does.
Coming Up is one of our favorite songs, you know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Used to party to that one all the time.
Yeah. still would if we could.
Yeah.
Right? If anything, this will make us people want to be together more.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I even like Paul's. I like one song every album pretty well, maybe. I like the stuff he did with Kanye. The Rihanna one, I like that too.
Cool. Quite the guy, Paul McCartney. He's had quite the long career, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Ringo's, you know, you do a good impression of him. Peace and love. Peace and love, yeah.
Peace and love. There'll be no more fan mail after this date, March 25th, 2020. Peace and love. I don't do an impression.
It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, on that note, peace and love. Thank you for watching this video.
Peace and love.
Yeah. Thank you to Luke for doing this video with me in quarantine. He's not here, but
there'll be no more fan mail.
Yeah.
After this date. Thanks, Justin, for Crow TV. Thanks, Crow TV.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in via satellite to the Crow TV studios.
Great.
Thanks everyone. Hope you're safe, and if you're watching this after the quarantine, you survived. Congrats.
I'm curious what things will be like watching this video in a year or 6 months, 4 months. How long is this gonna go?
It's a time capsule because everything we're talking about is timeless. You know, the Beatles music is timeless, but.
And this is going to be historic, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's already.
This has never happened. Anything like this has never happened in our lifetimes or our parents' lifetimes. So it's quite extreme. Okay, so everyone, stay inside. Social distancing. Wash your hands. Keep tuned into Crow TV if you want to see some more videos. I don't know what's next for this channel, but. Regardless, thanks for tuning in. Give a thumbs up if you liked it, maybe. If you didn't, you can give a thumbs down. But leave a comment, please. We love reading the comments. A lot of people have been leaving some great comments on our videos. We love reading them. Thanks, Luke. Thanks.
See you, bro.
See you, everyone.